What is up, everybody? Bootman here, and we are back with another Marvel Snap video. And in this video, I have over 20 decks that have already won Infinity Conquest to get that beautiful new avatar border, all right? So I wanted to share with you this list, and I wanted to get it out to you as soon as possible because we got less than a week for you to get in there, grind, and win Infinity Conquest, all right? So I put these all together, so I'm gonna go over some decks and then also give you my thoughts and opinions on them and all that kind of good stuff. But before we get started, if you're new here, hi, my name is Chris. I also go by Bootman. If you love Marvel Snap as much as I do, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell because I make a ton of content, especially like competitive type Marvel Snap content. So if you're interested in ranking up the ladder, winning an Infinity Conquest or any other conquest mode, gold, silver, all that kind of stuff, you're definitely gonna wanna subscribe, ring that notification bell. All right, we just hit 10,000 subscribers and now we're shooting for even higher. All right, so make sure you join. We also have an awesome Discord community down in the description below. Come hang out, bunch of cool people in there talking Marvel Snap, different decks, all sorts of cool stuff, all right? And make sure you follow me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ, all right? Because I do monthly giveaways for the season pass. So the next season pass we got coming up, I don't know what they're calling it, all right? But this has got like Jean Grey, Phoenix Force, and all that stuff. But I give away 3 season passes for free every single month, but you gotta be subscribed and you gotta follow me on Twitter, all right? And also just a quick update, this weekend, so Friday through Sunday, I'll be streaming DC Dual Force. The beta is gonna be back up and running. I have like hundreds of beta keys left, so if you didn't get one, yeah, just make sure you swing by. I'm gonna have a whole spreadsheet with keys so you can get a key, all right? But anyways, let's jump into this thing. All right, so check it out. So, those of you who are familiar with me, I try to put together like infinite rank deck lists, and I was like, oh, why don't I do this for Infinity Conquest as well? So I will share this document down in the description below so all of you can access it. There's 21 decks on here so far, and I'll try to keep adding to it. Each of these is different, so they're not like, there's not like 10 Lockjaw high evolutionary decks on here, all right? But I will share this so you can access it, go to them. So real quick, these are like all from Twitter. There's a lot of different places to get deck ideas. So like if you're like curious like where to find deck ideas, I love just hanging out on Twitter. So yeah, make sure you're following me, all right? Because I like share them and all sorts of stuff, and I have a bunch of cool fun tweets, okay? But anyways, I'll share this down below, but Twitter's a great place to get ideas for different decks. And here's another tip. Here's another pro tip for you. As we go through this list, because I know some of the questions you're gonna have is like, what are the replacements, blah, 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 blah. Well, ask the people, like, I'm on Twitter and like, even though I make this content, you know, like I'm just like you, I'm always trying to improve my game and everything like that. So like, if I see a deck that's cool, I reply to them, I'm like, yo, like, what's the ideal play line? Hey, why is this card here? What do you do with it? You know what I mean? Like ask, and people in the Marvel Snap community are super cool. They'll help you out. They'll tell you like what they did with the deck, give you strategies. If you need a replacement card, they're more than likely to give you like ideas for what you could do if you don't have the cards, all sorts of stuff, all right? So, again, there's 21 on this list right now, and I'm gonna try to keep adding to it, but I picked 10. The 10 are in no specific order. I've highlighted the ones that are in this video. So if there's one that you saw in the video, they're on here, and like they're not in order. I kind of bounced around, so like, just click on them, you find them. I put in little parentheses like what they kind of are, 2 of the main cards in it. So yeah, check that out, all right? So we're gonna go over 10 of them that I thought were cool and interesting. And again, they're not all high evolutionary lists, so don't worry, I get bored with that deck too, all right? So let's jump into them. All right, so the first one is Fury Hawk. And well, they call it Fury Hawk. I call it like Dino Hawk, whatever. So as we all know, Nick Fury recently got buffed, and I've been meaning to try this deck out. I loved Darkhawk and Dino, and I also really enjoy having like these Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. cards in your deck, because in Conquest mode, you're always like sizing up your opponent, and after a few rounds, you really start to get down like what their deck is, what their play patterns are. And with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. cards, like in this, you got Maria Hill, Agent Coulson, Nick Fury, you're able to catch your opponent off guard because they don't know what you're pulling. So this is an interesting list. I do like how it has Mystique in here that can copy Darkhawk and Dino. I've seen some people just not. It has Spider-Ham in here, but to be honest, like I'm looking at this, I'm like, yo, you don't got Quinjet in here? Like you don't got Quinjet, all right? So yeah, I don't know, if you wanna tweak it a little, go for it, but yeah, this is the list that did it. But yeah, absolutely, like Agent Coulson and Nick Fury alone, just being able to surprise your opponent with cards that they don't know that you have. But one of the things they said with the OTA update for Nick Fury is when you have Quinjet in here and you use Nick Fury, like you could play 2 6-drops, 6-drop on 5, 6-drop on 6. So yeah, maybe play around with it. And something I do, by the way, for all these decks, I take them and I take them into like proving rounds to test them out, get a feel for them before I go into the higher Conquest modes. I rack up like 1 million silver tickets, so sometimes I'll just jump into silver and test it out. But yeah, that's my strategy. All right. So the next deck, this comes from fellow content creator, It's Guest Gaming. So make sure you follow him, go subscribe him. But yeah, so he posted this. This is an interesting deck list. So this is like a Medusa Surfer list, okay? So yeah, people have been using Medusa. Medusa is one of those cards. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna be able to tweak Medusa to make it good, but like a lot of people are using Medusa. D-Money used Medusa in the recent Creator Clash tournament in a bounce deck. So we drop her in the middle for 5 and then bounce her back up. But yeah, this list, I do like Surfer. I've been playing around with it a little bit. This one doesn't use Sarah, and I'm not sure if you need Sarah, but anyways, this is a pretty decent list because Goose is huge right now, right? Like against high evolutionary decks, well, it depends, right? If they're playing Lockjaw, Goose isn't gonna do much because, you know, they could just slip in like a Wasp or the Mjolnir or whatever, and you're not doing much. But I have played some of these Silver Surfer lists, and Goose is great for blocking like a lane where they wanna drop like Hulk, or they wanna drop Dracula. I want some big AQpers just because they snapped early, and I was like, okay, well, you put your Lockjaw here, I'm gonna block here, and I know you don't have Abomination, you know what I mean? But yeah, just remember they can slide under with the Lockjaw. So yeah, I do enjoy this. I don't know if it would be better with Sarah, because it looks like they have Groot in here, which isn't super duper common. But yeah, give it a try. It's a very accessible list too. Look at this. There's like there's no Series 5 cards in here. Oh, except for Jeff. Except for Jeff. All right? If you don't got Jeff, use something else. All right? Cool. So next up, Combat Snap. So I made a video on his deck the other day, this Shuri list, which is gangsta, all right? But he did tweak it. He did tweak the list. So previously, this list had Spider-Ham and something else in my video. Can't remember what it was off the top of my head. I was looking and comparing, but he updated this list. So now he has Kitty Pryde and Nebula, which is great. So like, man, I cannot tell you, when I don't have Kitty Pryde in a deck, I am just like, I wish I had Kitty Pryde in a deck. Like when you have like a weird starting hand or whatever, like it's great to just have Kitty Pryde that can just be going out there and just doing stuff and going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And people aren't 1000% sure when you're only playing Kitty Pryde in the beginning. I was messing around with this version last night, but I did make one change. I'll tell you in a second. But yeah, it's great to have something that just keeps going because like, if you watch the video, even though I won that game in Conquest mode, like it just like, it feels bad when you like don't have Sauron and you're like, you're just like trying to figure some stuff out. So Kitty Pryde's great in this. So I was actually talking with Combat about the changes he made, and he has Nebula in here. So when I made this list, I swapped out Nebula for Angela, all right? Like Kitty Pryde and Angela, peanut butter and jelly, baby, all right? Like they're just great together. So you could just be bouncing back Kitty, buffing up Angela, and then you have this whole other just like thing going on with Shuri where you're like, I'm gonna drop some huge stuff. But then if need be, you have a backup plan of Black Bolt and Stature, you know, you got Taskmaster here to copy Shuri, or, you know, Red Skull, all sorts of cool stuff. So this is a really, really, really strong list. I've won some gold tickets with this thing. And yeah, Combat took it through Infinity Conquest. All right, so next up, we have a Destroy list for all of y'all. Destroy lists are great. I haven't tried this specific one. Oh, there's one that runs Green Goblin too. I have not tried Destroy in Conquest, but I can tell you what, it is frustrating to go up against. Okay, like just Bucky gets annoying because like you have Bucky on a lane, you put Bucky down on a lane with Deathlock, and it's just like instant 11 power, right? Or you could do like, you know, you have like Wolverine, Bucky, and Carnage, just all sorts of stuff. So yeah, this deck gives you a few different options. You can Shuri the Nimrod, which recently got buffed. I played against a deck like this, and like it's so frustrating because you don't have the option to do Shang-Chi against a 12 power Nimrod, you know, because you just help him out. So this has Arnim Zola to copy Nimrod. You also have Destroyer to take out your Shuri Nimrods. You also have Venom, which can eat a bunch of your stuff. Then you Zola it. And then you also have Green Goblin in here just for like a little bit of disruption. So cool list, give it a try. And this one is pretty accessible. Let me see. Is there anything crazy in here? No, the only card that you might not have is Nimrod from the season pass, but pretty solid Destroy list. I personally just don't like playing Destroy. I feel like I just never have the cards. I just never have the cards to destroy anything. I don't know what it is. All right, so this is a version of Bounce, okay? So this is a tech Bounce list, all right, from what is this, Darkodius? So this deck is utilizing Elektra, Shang-Chi, and Valkyrie, okay? So I have a video coming out. So by the way, everybody, make sure you're subscribed, okay? I have some really cool videos coming out. I'm actually bringing on some people to do some deck discussions. I like, you know, talking with them about it. So I'm like, hey, I'll bring them on the channel. So we'll see how you guys like that and stuff. So I do have a really in-depth bounce deck video coming out with one of the best bounce deck players, all right? That'll be a surprise for you, okay? But there are a lot of different versions. I have not tried this specific one, but so this does not have Falcon, it doesn't have Collector, it doesn't have Iceman. Iceman's up in the air because people have been swapping in and out, Spider-Ham and Iceman. But anyways, Elektra has been good. Elektra has been good. I was running a list earlier in the season or right when Conquest mode came out with Elektra, and Elektra is pretty great against early high Evo decks, like when you could take out a Sunspot or a Nebula, right? Because those things usually rack up power, especially like a Sunspot as they're constantly just soaking, right? And Elektra's just a guaranteed, I'm hitting that thing. I've also really liked Killmonger lately. A couple of these lists are gonna have Killmonger, but yeah, Valkyrie is still one of the most fantastic surprise cards. She got really popular for a little while there, and now people don't play her that much, so you can steal a lot of 8 cubes. Like, if any of you have been following me for a while now, when I first got Valkyrie, I was just over the moon with how many cubes she would steal. People are just like, what are they gonna do here, right? What can they do against me? None of my stuff's over 9 power, you know, whatever. You just take Valkyrie and just whoop, and you just swat them all down. So yeah, obviously you wanna play Valkyrie like on an Angela lane or something like that, because you'll get the +2 after Valkyrie goes off, that effect. And then we got America Chavez in here with some consistency. But yeah, I love Bounce. Bounce is my favorite, and it is still so powerful. I don't know if this is like my favorite bounce list, but it's a version and it's working, okay? And yeah, Spider-Ham to keep bouncing back and forth and messing with somebody, all right? So next up, we have Peaceful Sea, all right? Super cool dude. Give him a follow on Twitter. So here's a deck that he hit Infinite with, and it's like a Sarah Darkhawk list, and this is really cool. I wanna give this a try. All right, so you have a little Kitty Angela package here, right? But then you have Zabu and Darkhawk. But you also have 2 of my favorites. You got Shang-Chi and Enchantress with the counters, but then you got Killmonger in here too. You guys, Killmonger's been huge lately. Killmonger has been huge. I've been playing some decks that run Killmonger, and it's just big. It's fantastic. Like with all the bounce decks, again, like I said, against the high Evo decks when they're running, you know, like Nebula and Sunspot, like a lot of times, like people are getting Sunspot up to like 7, 8 power, right? Like I see people just fully float a turn. So when you just take that thing out, it's like, they just wasted those turns. You know what I mean? So I really, really like this list. I'm gonna give it a try. The only Series 5 card in here looks like it's Jeff. I know some of you don't have Darkhawk, but Jeff, I'm sure is replaceable. Peaceful C, cool dude. So if you have questions like, hey, what can I replace Jeff with? Go ahead and ask. He's on Twitter, baby. All right. Next up, I had to do it. I had to do it. I had to give you guys a Galactus list, all right? So, I don't know. I think part of me, I just like an underdog. I like unexpected things, and, you know, like, after a card gets nerfed, if it's still just out there doing its thing, like, I'll give it some respect. I'll put some respect on its name, all right? So, yeah. How do you say your name? Intero Bang. He's a cool guy on Twitter. Yeah, so he ran a Galactus list. So I was asking about this. Oh, he didn't answer me. Look at me. I asked right here. See, this is what I was talking about, by the way. Just like ask people. And so, Intro Bang, if you see this, you better reply to me. Don't make me look dumb to my audience. I told him to ask questions to get some answers because I was asking, what's his strategy when he doesn't pull Galactus? And because there's a couple things going on, right? So it has like obviously the ramp, like Electro Wave, you know, whatever. But there's Shuri here, so Shuri can, you know, probably buff your Doc Ock, and then you get Doc Ock to 20 power, then you got Taskmaster, you have Shang-Chi, so there's a few things that you could do here, and then you got Galactus. You got Galactus, you got Wolverine and stuff like that, and I'll tell you what's frustrating. Something that I always, 1000% of the time forget about is when there's like Luke's Bar or like Ultra of Death or something like that, where I'm like, oh, it's a Galactus deck. Oh, okay, well, it's a draw. It's gonna be a draw if they play Galactus into there, right? Because that's what I used to do when I used to play Galactus. Like, I would just do like a kamikaze, like, all right, neither of us win. But when you have Wolverine, he'll just go there and you'll just win with Wolverine. So anyways, that just popped into my head. Hey, when that happens, it's very rare, and I think that's why I forget about it all the time. But yeah, so here's a Galactus list. So even though Galactus got nerfed, you can still do your thing, all right? So, next up is Paper. So Paper, he is awesome. This is a list he made. I linked the wrong tweet. I'll actually fix that for you. So he just made a video on this list. Oh, and fellow content creator Felicity TV, she used his list, got through Infinity just one try, all right? So here is the list, and let me actually update that for you guys before I forget. So here's his list, and it is just phenomenal. I was actually in his Twitch when he did it, and I was like, this list is like nuts. So check it out. All right, so this list has a little bit of everything. Okay, so we got Spider-Ham Korg, Zabu, Ghost Spider Jeff, Killmonger, Shadow King, Darkhawk, Shang-Chi, Rockslide, Iron Lad, and freaking Dr. Octopus. Like, what? So Paper just made a video on this, so make sure you go check out his Twitter, Paper LOL. But, spoiler, one of the creators I'm having on is Paper to talk about this list. I was watching him, I caught him at like the tail end. I watched him win the Infinity Conquest in it, but I still have questions about it, all right? So anyways, yeah, it's like a Darkhawk package, but we got Shadow King in here. Shadow King's huge. If any of you watched my video the other day about underrated cards, Shadow King is just, it's gangster. I said he was gonna have his time to shine, and boom, here it is. Great against bounce stacks. He also counteracts any negative damage or affliction that you've taken from high Evo decks. So he's like a mini Luke Cage because he does it on one lane, but it also reduces any kind of buff power. So, and people still aren't expecting him. Shadow King's probably about to be huge in the meta. A lot of people are using Shadow King, especially like in Silver Surfer decks and stuff like that. Again, Killmonger is huge. So let me tell you this, and I'm gonna talk to Paper about it. So, like, this is like the craziest thing I've come across in Marvel Snap, and I'm afraid to say it so publicly because you're all gonna figure it out. But you know what? I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. So something that Paper figured out is that when you use Spider-Ham, if they play that pig out there, so let's say you're playing against a high Evo deck and you pig their Hulk, all right? Hulk's still 12 power. If you pig their Hulk later, that thing could still be 14, 16, 18 power, right? And then they put it down. Shadow King takes that pig down to 1-0. All right, did you guys, is this thing on? Did you guys hear what I just said? Shadow King takes every pig down to 1-0. I was like, look, I asked her right here, I'm like, wait, so let me get this right. Shadow King turns every pig to 1-0? I'm like, what? What? Like, so I don't know. I'm gonna ask Paper about this. I don't know if he asked if it's like intentional or not. But anyways, he says, Shadow King basically resets to the printed, quote unquote, printed power of the card, and pigs printed costs, so pigs just by themselves are 1-0 plus the power of the card. So a pig's base power, so Shadow King returns everything to its base power, a pig's base power is 1-0. So in his video, he actually has a highlight of it, and it's hilarious. He's like, oh no, you guys, what am I gonna do? They played this pig here, and he takes it down to 0. I'm like, wait a second. So this list is dope. He does some shenanigans where he drops Dr. Octopus, totally disrupting their hand and everything, and then he yanks Dr. Octopus, so you can play like Ghost Spider and Darkhawk on the final turn, so you pull your Doc Ock over for 10 power, and then you can, you know, do some other shenanigans. All right, super cool list. I have not tried it yet. I cannot wait to play around with it. Yeah, I just have not done an Infinity Conquest run yet. I'm just still racking up tickets, and like, I just don't know if I have the mental fortitude to deal with it. Like right now, I've been super busy and I just kind of want to sit down and do it. So maybe I'll stream this weekend after DC Dual Force and do some runs, but I really, really want to try this list. Like I said, fellow content creator Felicity did it first try. All right, couple more decks. So next up, we got Lambie. All right, so Lambie series just won the UK Creator Clash, okay? So my dude won, what was it, 2,500 bucks, something like that. And here's the list that he used, all right? So this is his version of Bounce. So in it, he uses Iron Man and he uses Jeff. So I've been playing this this version of Bounce a lot lately, and basically, people will typically have Shang-Chi in here, but Lambie put in Jeff, and I'm not 1,000% sure why. It just seems like Jeff's a great card. Jeff is a fantastic card, but for what this deck does, it feels like Shang-Chi is the better play. So I don't know if it was just for the tournament and the lineups he was doing, because I watched a lot of the tournament, and a lot of them were just like trying to play mind games and like tweak decks, so people didn't really know what to expect and stuff like that. I personally I enjoy, so the idea behind these decks is like, it's hard to like kind of go tall on certain lanes when people are like dropping like just like massive amounts of power, if it's like a lockjaw list or whatever. So you have Iron Man in here, right? That can just get really big on a lane. And sometimes people don't expect it, especially if you bash your Iron Man. Just dropping an Iron Man on your Angela lane, you know, can be a huge game, right? So you could do Iron Man on turn 5 and then play all your bounce on turn 6 if they don't wave you and stuff like that. So anyways, I'm not sure if the Shang-Chi version is better. It's just like, I know since I play so much bounce that sometimes you're like, man, I wish I had Shang-Chi in here. You know what I mean? So like when I see Jeff in here for Shang-Chi, I'm just like, ooh, I don't know, but he won the tournament with this. I didn't see some of his other games with this particular deck because all the creators brought 2 decks, but he won the finals and he was going up against a Patriot deck, and it was a very quick game. Like the first round, D-Money lost like 8 cubes, so it was only like 2 rounds. So I'm still not sure how useful Jeff is in this list is what I'm saying, all right? So last one on the list is one I had to give a little shout out for my co-host Brad. So here, let me give you a little backstory real quick. So Brad, my co-host, so those of you who don't know, we do the Snap on Ego podcast. It's bi-weekly, okay? We got a cool guest coming up. We usually don't have guests, so this is a special occasion. But anyways, Brad said, I'm on a mission to find a best deck featuring these 2 cards together. I feel like they're a match made in heaven. Thanos and Iron Lad, all right? So he was doing a little contest. He said, first person to post Conquest Infinite run with these two in the same deck, they'll win the Ryan Gonzalez bundle. All right. So this is the Ryan Gonzalez bundle coming out. 2,500 gold comes out. Geez. Why did he do this one? This still doesn't come out until the end of July. What are you doing, Brad? So yeah, anyways, this person, Jones, did it. So this is their deck. It is like an ongoing list, but it has Iron Lad and yeah, it has Iron Lad in it. So this is an interesting list. It works, right? Like you have like the ongoing package. So you have like Onslaught in here, Spectrum, Devil Dino, obviously Blue Marvel. You got Ant-Man, so Spectrum can buff those. I did see one of this one. Yeah, I looked at this and I was like, how on earth is Thanos 70 power? All right, well, check this out. My dude put Onslaught on Power Stone. I never thought about that. And I'm trying to think, like, he must have Iron Ladded the Onslaught and then dropped another Onslaught, right? Because Thanos is at 70, so that must have, is that what happened? Is that what, let me know down in the comments if you know what happened there. Anyways, this looks like an interesting list. I wouldn't mind running it. But yeah, if you have Iron Lad, like Iron Lad, there aren't many things that Iron Lad's gonna hit in this list that are bad, right? Like if Iron Lad hits Iron Man, Blue Marvel, Devil Dino, Spectrum, Onslaught, you know, like they're all like decent hits. But even more importantly, Iron Lad can hit the stones, right? And the stones are extra draws and extra abilities. So imagine having like 2 soul stones out there. Imagine just like hitting your time stone early and having some extra energy or whatever. So yeah, this is a very interesting list. Give it a try. So anyways, like I said, those are the 10 that I selected. There are, don't worry, there are high evolutionary lists on this. Like this one's high Evo, that one's high Evo, that one's high Evo. This one's high Evo. So yeah, check it out. There are some Stegron lists. You know what? Screw it. I forgot I had this one on the list. We're doing 11. We're doing 11. All right. There's even a Howard the Duck list. I'm going for it. I'm trying it. Somebody hit Infinity, one Infinity Conquest with Howard. I'm doing it. All right. So my boy Howard, he got an Infinity too. So anyways, I will link, here, I'll highlight that too. You got 11. I'll highlight that too. So check out this. It's going to be down in the description below. All right. But anyways, that's all I got for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe, ring that notification bell. All right, we got a super cool community down in the description below. So join our Discord server and make sure you're following me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ. All right, looks like this. Hold on. I thought I changed views. Looks like this. Follow me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ. It's all linked down in the description below. I tweet. This way you don't miss any videos, stuff like that. And we'll do a giveaway every single month. Every single month I give away 3 season passes for free, and I post fun stuff like this. Here's Mobile Gamer. I was watching his video last night when he hit Infinity. I said, I'm gonna make the Mobile Gamer face when I get the Infinity border. This is his face right when he won it. So let that seep in your head. Mobile Gamer, he's my fellow Las Vegas Marvel Snap player. All right. Anyways, that's all I got. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.